Welcome to today's Explainer. I am so incredibly pumped to share this one with you because we are diving into something that is quite literally changing the game for educators and students alike. We're breaking down the mechanics of the exam zone learning management system. So if you're a teacher, a tutor, or honestly just someone fascinated by how tech can completely streamline learning, you are absolutely in the right place. We're going to get right into the data and the features to see exactly how this platform does all the heavy lifting for you. Let's jump in.
Right off the bat, picture your typical weekend for a second. For all the educators out there, think about those hours you spend just drowning in manual planning, writing up homework, and trying to guess what each individual student needs to review. It's a total logistical nightmare, right? But what if preparing a full month of lessons, sending out homework, and creating targeted reviews took literally just one click? I know, it sounds like total magic, but as we're about to see, this is exactly the headache that Exam Zone has cured.
So let's talk about the side of Exam Zone's class handling, specifically how it makes things so much easier for the teacher. Let's say you have a group of students taking a lesson on Sunday and Wednesday. In the old days, you'd be scrambling every week. But here, on the first day, you want to prepare the lessons for them, the homework, the topics, and also the reviews. Well, it is literally just a click. Let's say the class will start on the first Sunday of next month. To prepare the month's lessons, the system will just ask you which lesson you want to start with. You pick it, and then boom, it automatically schedules your lessons and your targeted reviews for the entire month. You set it, and you forget it.
And the onboarding? So easy. After the teacher sets everything up, the student books with them. And they can do that just by scanning your QR code or clicking Book right on the platform. It's that simple. Once they're in, they will automatically get each lesson's homework exactly on its time. And as they do the work, this system is quietly analyzing their performance. So they also get customized reviews generated to cover each student's individual weakness on each specific lesson. There's zero friction.
You know, the really crucial point here is this massive shift in how we actually teach. We are finally moving away from that traditional model. You know the one, manual grading that eats up your evenings, and generalized planning, where you're forced to teach to the middle of the class and just cross your fingers that everyone keeps up. Instead, this platform gives you instant evaluation. The second a student finishes, boom, it's graded. And instead of a one-size-fits-all plan, you have automated, personalized reviews tailored perfectly to the exact weaknesses of each kid. It is the difference between guessing what your class needs and actually knowing for sure.
Now, what powers all this automation? It's something they call smart training. And listen, this isn't just your standard run-of-the-mill online quiz. The source material defines this as a system that serves up intelligent, graded questions. We're talking questions that scale dynamically from easy to medium to hard, which actually mimics the real thought process of an actual exam. And it pairs that adaptive scaling with a timed environment, instant correction, and this really deep performance analysis. It gives you question-by-question breakdowns and custom advice. It literally trains the student to handle the pressure of the real deal.
But obviously, an automated system is only as good as the actual content inside it, right? Well, the educational library here is massive. We are looking at over 15 core subjects branching out into 40 different subcategories. Whether you're covering high school chemistry and physics, middle school Arabic, or even highly specialized stuff like IELTS for language proficiency or CCNA for computer networking, it is all right there. It's fully integrated and available 24/7. The teacher doesn't have to reinvent the wheel and write the content they just curated.
To give you a sense of scale, there are currently over 3,150 training questions actively sitting in the database right now. So when you set up that Sunday and Wednesday workflow we talked about, you are not just pulling from the same tired pool of 10 questions. The platform pulls from thousands of carefully graded questions to build out those dynamic homework assignments and reviews. It completely prevents students from just memorizing the answers. They actually have to test their knowledge.
And if you're sitting there wondering, okay, but is it going to crash on me? Don't worry. Over 50,000 exams have already been successfully solved on the platform. 50,000? That completely validates the reliability of the system. This isn't some clunky beta test where you're sweating on a Wednesday night hoping the software holds up while all your students log in. It is a fully battle-tested infrastructure.
Okay, so what's the catch? How much does all this tech cost? Frankly, it's incredibly affordable. For an educator to get access to the whole automated dashboard, it is just 300 Egyptian pounds for 30 days. And for the students, they've got these really accessible tiered options. There's a beginner plan for 50 EGP covering 60 days, a smart student plan giving 100 exams over 60 days for 100 EGP, and an expert plan for 90 days at just 150 EGP. The barrier to entry here is just remarkably low for both the teacher wanting their weekends back and the student wanting better grades.
And because it's so accessible and the automation is so smooth, the user base has absolutely exploded. We're talking over 18,000 students currently trusting and actively using the system. 18,000 students, all scanning QR codes, getting their Wednesday homework, and receiving their customized Sunday reviews without a hitch. That kind of massive adoption really speaks volumes about how intuitive the whole thing is.
But let's pause for a second. We've geeked out about the automation, the massive numbers, and how much easier it makes the teacher's life. But at the end of the day, the ultimate goal isn't just saving time on a Sunday afternoon, is it? It's about the students. It's about helping them succeed. So let's take a look at some actual, concrete, real-world results that come from the strategy of targeting specific weaknesses.
Take Ahmed's story, for example. He's a third secondary student, and he noted, "I kept studying from the chemistry and physics articles here. It made a huge difference in the exams. And the data backs him up in a big way." Ahmed went from a 65% to a 92%. A 92! This just brilliantly shows that when a student is fed the exact targeted review materials they need, the exact areas the automated system flagged as weak, it directly and dramatically shoots their grades up.
And it works outside the standard high school curriculum too. Just consider Miriam's experience. She says, preparing for IELTS was easy with practice tests. I passed from the first time. Because the platform simulates that high-pressure real exam atmosphere with the ticking clock and the immediate feedback, it is incredibly effective for rigid, standardized tests like the IELTS. It gives students that crucial confidence. They feel like they've already been there, done that when they sit down for the actual test.
I actually really love this next one from Yusuf. He was using it for history and geography, and he says, "The precise analysis of each historical era made me understand instead of memorize." I mean, come on, that is the holy grail for a teacher, right? By utilizing the platform's detailed performance analysis, Yusuf wasn't just rote learning a bunch of dates. He was building true comprehension. The system caught exactly where his logic was failing and instantly corrected it.
So when you bring it all together, the automated workflow for the teacher and this highly targeted, intelligent feedback for the student, the result is honestly staggering. A 92% student success rate for active users. 92%. That is exactly what happens when you remove the daily friction from teaching and replace it with smart, data-driven, personalized learning.
As we wrap up today's explainer, I want to leave you with this really powerful philosophy directly from the creators of the platform. They say, the secret is not in how much you study, the secret is knowing your weaknesses and working on them. It totally reframes the entire educational challenge. If a system can automatically handle the scheduling, grade the homework, and pinpoint those exact weaknesses for you, how much more effective could your teaching actually become? Think back to that Sunday and Wednesday workflow and ask yourself, are you working harder or are you working smarter? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I hope this gave you a really clear look at the future of classroom management. Catch you next time.